Just last night. Just last night we had a lock-in with young people at our community center. We talked about...
These are millennials? Or
these are millennials. And really, and I'll be honest, and this is with all my adoration and love for my peers and my elders, I'm not hanging my hat or my hope on my peers or my elders. I'm hanging my hat on the younger generation.
Yeah.
When the Treaty of Hudaibiyah was signed, God says in the Quran, "Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina," that we have clearly opened for you or facilitated for you the clearest of victories. And this means that the peace treaty was a clear victory, not any of the campaign, not one of the campaigns of the Prophet where there was actual fighting. Those weren't the clearest victory that he's talking about. The clearest victory was the peace treaty that allowed for there to be harmony in the land, for people to be able to hear the message in peace, without coercion, without provocation, without any kind of feeling of unsafety. And that's the time that people can think and can contemplate and can deeply reflect, which is the purpose of our existence on earth, in order to reflect, find our purpose, and live it for God. So a believer fights to uphold freedom of religion. Never does a believer fight to take away freedom of religion. It's completely contrary. God is saying that jihad, that concept, that those who are faithful have to be ready to defend justice. It's to allow people to have freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of saying what they want to say. All of these things are things that we see those claiming that they're defending Islam, that they're actually doing things against Islam, calling it jihad. So they're actually doing things that jihad should be established to end, such as coercion of religion, such as taking away the freedom of expression, killing journalists. Journalists are the ones who are doing something for God. They're spreading truth through media. How can you take someone who's trying to spread truth through media and kill them? This is against. Jihad should be established to support journalists. Jihad should be established to defend journalists if one is standing for justice. However, do not kill the old, the decrepit, women or children. Do not destroy buildings. Do not cut down trees or harm livestock without good cause. Do not burn or drown any palm trees. Do not be treacherous. Do not mutilate. Do not be cowardly, and do not loot. All of these, we've seen some of it done on some of the videos being propagated. And what I say is what I'm seeing being done in the name of Islam is actually a mimicking of some video games that have been played. It's a mimicking of some violent movies that have been watched. Because the people that you see that are claiming that they're standing for the faith, they're from the same cultural things that we're drinking. And when we drink them into our soul and we allow that to replace our love of peace and our love of justice, and we think that when we're wronged, then we should take matters into our own hands and do harm to others, that's not standing up for justice. They're taking verses out of context. They're taking this thing, which is the claim that the Prophet killed captives in battles. The answer is that he only ordered that 2 captives be killed. And that was Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt and Nadr ibn al-Harith. And they were leaders of war and war criminals. And the execution of war criminals is permissible if the ruler orders it. And this is war criminals who have been confirmed beyond the shadow of a doubt that they're war criminals. It can't be that someone just says, I think they're a war criminal. So even in that case, that's the only case. And the proof is that when Suhail ibn Amr was captured by the Prophet's forces, peace and blessings upon him, when Quraysh was fighting the Muslims, Suhail ibn Amr was the biggest propagandist against the Prophet in Mecca. And Umar ibn Khattab said, let's kill him so that the propaganda stops. He said, we don't kill captives. He said, let me at least take away his front teeth so that he can't talk as easily. He said, we can't mutilate. We can't harm people's bodies. So what needs to happen is that this is understood, and no Muslim has a doubt that killing captives, harming non-combatants, harming the land that a people live in, treating any people because of their religion, making them feel that they need to accept Islam as their religion, or they will be harmed, or they will not have safety. On the contrary, Islam went to lands in order to free people to be able to practice freely what they believed. In fact, Amr ibn al-As found some churches that were not cared for in Alexandria and rebuilt those churches for the Coptics living in Alexandria as part of the infrastructure rebuilding in Egypt. And this is the concept of the faith. The faith is about rebuilding nations. It's about uplifting people, elevating them, and allowing them to make their choices, and the choice of God and connecting with Him and how to connect with Him. And coercing a religion is against our faith. Our faith is to defend freedom of religion. Jihad should be established to defend freedom of religion. So when someone is taking away freedom of religion, there should be jihad against them.
Hi, I'm Zach, and we've been having a great time having these conversations and filming them and sharing them with you all, but I realize that I'm just a 30-something humanist, and I've got my own perspectives on what Islam is, what God is, and how society should kind of have these conversations. But I'm sure there's some things that I'm missing. So, help me out. Let me know what questions you'd like to see me ask Omar by using hashtag AskOmarAli, listed here, and we will use the best ones in an upcoming video or series of videos depending on how many we get. We're all here trying to figure out what the truth is. Hopefully doing this together, that's exactly what we're gonna find.